Alright, this is Dan, and I'm here to talk about my LS engine swap in my 57 Chevy that I've been working on. And at this point, I've actually got the engine fitted in. I actually cleaned it all up. This is a LQ4 out of a 2003 Silverado. I matched it up with a 4L60E out of a two-wheel drive Chevy pickup truck. That's 2004. I ended up getting a dry shaft out of the junkyard, 22 bucks, hard to believe, pretty nice. And I've got this Corvette rear end that I bought off Craigslist, 1982. As you can see, it has the bat wing, which is how they call that. The center is stationary. We have two half shafts, and it has all the things you'd want. It has big disc brakes in the back. It's posi, and it has emergency brake built into the rotors. So what I did to get this to fit in here is I actually took the original bracket that was actually originally mounted around this area here. I cut it off with my whiz wheel, and I slid it a couple inches ahead, looks like about 6 inches ahead, and then attached my trailing arm to it. Now the trailing arms, obviously there's two trailing arms for the Corvette rear end. That's basically how it maneuvers. And I positioned that trailing arm basically before I tore the old rear out. I marked where the rear sat, and then I tried to duplicate the same position after the installation. Now, I also handmade a center bracket here that holds my the rear tongue right in here, and I've machined that or manufactured that out of just 1.5 inch tubing, square tubing, and bolted it in. One of the other things I just want to mention that the trailing arms have spacers on each side. I mean, there's washers right now. I'm probably in the end going to have to adjust that one way or the other depending on how alignment goes. But as you also can see, I put a bolt all the way through the frame to hold that in. On the back end here, the bat wing is held in by brackets, and I was very fortunate that the guy who took the bat wing off the Corvette also cut the brackets off that came with it, so it was easy to just do a little shaping, and I welded that onto the frame. The other thing I had to manufacture was shock brackets. As you can see, it's basically just a couple pieces of metal that I put together and welded. It goes down to the shock mount at the bottom of the Corvette rear. You could also see the brake line in this shot. The original ones were about 10 inches, and I had to get ones that are a little longer, about 12 inches. I also have a rear sway bar that I installed, which is the factory Corvette rear sway bar. Yeah. Let me show you here. Down here I installed a bracket onto the frame that I had from a Trans Am, and worked that in. As far as the rear was concerned, it's a posi rear. I took it apart, put new seals in it, checked everything out, put it back together again, refilled it with fluid and non-slip. I also made these brackets here for with the rubber bushing, just in case it bottoms out. Hopefully it will never do that. And again, so the nice thing about the Corvette rear end is it's got it actually has dual piston brakes in the back there, 11-inch rotors, or actually 11.5-inch rotors. It's got the emergency brake cable built into the drum. It's pretty neat. And this rear end I got off Craigslist for $250. And actually, when I went and gave the guy the money, he said to me he would have took anything he wanted. He just wanted to get rid of it. I wish I would have known that before I bought it. But I still think that was a good deal. I spent more money probably on all the bushings and the rebuilding of it. I did put new trailing arm bushings in, and they are quite, you have to make an interesting jig for that, but I did accomplish it. So that's my basic. Wanted to take this before I continue on. I'm just about ready to start this thing back up. I gotta put the radiator in and the gas tank in, and she should put the electronics back on it and should be ready to start. My plan is to get that done next 2 weeks or so, and then we're going to start getting back to body, which I got here on the body cart. Already all the body work's done on this, but I still got fenders and doors to finish up, so put that into work and we'll be rolling in a while. That's it.